What's up, everybody? This is Tiana from Straight from the Crates, and today we're talking about Missy Elliott's album Under Construction. This album was released in 2002, but spiritually, I'd say this album lives in the 80s, breathes through the 90s, and it still sounds futuristic as well today, which is, that's crazy for it to do on one album. And I feel like the title alone tells you everything. Hip hop was changing at the time. It was more commercial, polished, and it was losing some of that raw identity. And for me, Missy Elliott was like, we're not done building yet. And this is her saying that hip hop is still evolving. Women in rap are still defining themselves. And the foundation, they all came from the 80s, especially women who didn't get enough credit. And I feel like this is Missy putting up a sign on the genre like this is a work in progress. But we also have to respect the blueprint. And for me, this is where the album becomes genius and not just, you know, not like a Kanye West genius, but like a whole piece of work. And Missy Elliott and Timbaland, they didn't just use samples for nostalgia, they used them like building blocks. If you look at Work It, it's Rockmaster Scott and the Dynamic Three in reverse. And it feels playful, but it's all rooted in early hip hop. And it's like a rhythmic chaos. And that song is just amazing. And when it came out, I don't know if I was in eighth grade or ninth. Oh, no, I was in the 10th grade when this album came out. And I remember my grandma was just like, is your premonition wet yet? When the illegible part of the song came on, and I thought that's what made it so cool. Like everybody had their own version of what she was saying, but it was actually an old hip hop sample put in reverse, which is, that was genius to me. And then on that song Back in the Day by Schoolie D, that one is just, it resonates old school energy. And that track is literally Missy mourning what hip hop lost. Then you got the Gossip Folks, which is by a sample from Frankie Smith of the Double Dutch Bus. And that sample, that's like nostalgic black joy. That's like reminiscing on the block, having at parties, doing actual double dutch, like it's just a reminder of your childhood. And also on the one song, Funky Fresh Dressed, that's a sample of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Fives. And that's just straight up 80s homage. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that word. Homage. But I mean, that song to me, it's all about confidence and identity. So, and that's what makes this album different. And you can hear all of the history through it. And from what you guys know about me, I do love history. And all you have to do for a history lesson here is just press play. You don't have to read anything. All you have to do is listen. And for me, it's like Missy saying everything that we love about hip hop, it came from somewhere. And she's like, I'm not going to let y'all forget where it came from. And I think that's pretty cool. And I also believe that she put women in a space to reclaim what was theirs and where they had never left. So, yeah, like it's reclaiming a space because Missy, she just isn't inspired by the 80s. She's honoring women, specifically the ones who shaped hip hop, like Roxanne Shante, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, and Spinderella, and the women who had to fight just to be heard in a male dominated space. And instead of copying them, Missy evolves them because she's kind of weird and experimental, and free all at the same time. So my question becomes, did Missy surpass her influences, or is she the ultimate extension of them? And also on this album, like, there's dope features. Like, she's got Jay-Z on Back in the Day, and he represents on this album to me mainstream dominance. So, she needed that to kind of push it. Then you got Ludacris. He, Back then he was funny and very charismatic. So, I mean, I don't got much to say about him. He was cool. He's still cool. And then, oh, Beyonce's on this album, on the remix of Nothing Out There for Me. And I actually really like that song. But if we look at this album, we'll notice something that nobody's outshining Missy. And it seems like nobody can. Like, in her music, like, she had an album called The Real World. Like, this is her world when she's in the music. And it feels like everyone else is just visiting. So I also think that is something very uniquely to Missy Elliott. And also, you Timberland and Missy together, because half of the album is produced by him. That's more than just production. It's like it's a whole architecture, and that also goes back to the title of the album, Under Construction. Like, they are building something. Like, the beats feel like rubber, space, make you bounce. It also almost feels like a glitch. Even when she's sampling the past, it still sounds like the future. So to me, this is why this album doesn't age, and it feels like it almost exists outside of time. So the question that I have today is, Under Construction the greatest homage album in hip hop history, or is it Missy quietly showing that she understands the culture better than everybody else? And another question is, why don't we talk about Missy Elliott like she's in the top 5 greatest of all artists of all time, and not female artists, just artists in general? So, let me know down in the comments, is Missy Elliott's Under Construction the most underrated hip hop masterpiece ever, or no? Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my videos with other people who like music and who want to think about what those artists were saying, what was going on in the time, and just listening to it with new adult ears and seeing what we're getting out of it. So, you guys just keep on rocking with me, and I'll see you later. Peace.